I mean, I had a lot of good memories. I had some tough memories, and I think that's part of everybody here. I think anyone listening will have a mixed bag of emotions when it comes to their childhood or their upbringing. For the large part, I was surrounded by warmth. I was surrounded by connection and community growing up. I come from a very big extended family. And so every weekend there's family gatherings, there's birthdays or anniversaries or some celebration. There were lots of meaningful conversations with people, with friends. We didn't grow up in the age of technology. So we had the rotary phones. We didn't have dial up internet back in those days. And so you engage very meaningfully with friends and with family. At the same time, my roots are, I'm from an Indian background, Indian Portuguese background. And so there are cultural expectations that are, I think, ingrained at a very young age. And so I could see it in how my mom or my aunts were treated and in the expectations that there were for them as women versus for men. And which is why I speak about in my TED Talk about modeling and why it is so important. And so I think about what I observed because these were all unspoken. They're not spoken expectations. They're unspoken, but they were observed.
Yeah.
And so that's why I talk very much about modeling. And so when I now today as a mom of two girls, and I'm by no means perfect, I think it's taken a lot of work and a lot of unlearning to really think through what are the cultural and societal expectations that I had absorbed. And I work very hard when I'm, with my daughters to bring that awareness to the conversations I have with them when they're facing challenges at school or challenges even at home. I don't want to silence their voice, although sometimes that's a default mechanism because that's how I was raised. Like, don't speak up. Be quiet. Listen. It takes a lot of awareness from me, conscious awareness, to help them, share their voice. But how do you do that in a way that is respectful? How do you do that in a way that is kind? And so I'm very conscious in how I parent today than I probably was a few years ago. And I think that's taken a lot of unlearning on my part. And by no means am I perfect. I will have moments where I default, but I think it's a step-by-step process and I work every day at it.